we are talking about AI and how it's going to affect both commerce in general and especially re-commerce. And we're going to go through both buyer and seller or the merchant side. What about the seller or the merchant side?
For example, inventory registration, not only enriching the content, but actually in specifically for re-commerce, where we talked about that where vision capabilities can help a lot, that if you're handling product returns or maybe your whole business is a secondhand store, so if you register in the inventory, it can be as easy as just snapping a picture of it. So even if you wouldn't have like a brand catalog against which that image would be analyzed, the general language models are pretty good at identifying what is this item and giving it a condition grading that can be used in your own inventory. So like item registration is as simple as snapping a photo of that item as it comes in. So that's, to me, like again, it's kind of generative, but there's also the element of vision capabilities there that allows the prompt to be born almost like, yes, please register with this data schema, something for this image that we have here. So I think that's definitely a core capability that even small store owners should have. Better data, more enriched data, and they can create that data more easily. And then if the technology partner that they're working with is on par with the modern standards, then that data is discoverable and indexed by AI agents in the same way as websites are indexed and crawled by, Google crawlers.
How is AI then gonna influence like the components of this merchant world where you are, for example, working with inventory or pricing the items and kind of maybe not optimizing, but making sure that the operations are working properly, and why not, of course, optimize the business for you as a seller?
For example, in inventory, we could talk about like forecasting, demand forecasting and supply forecasting, or dynamic pricing, like based on weather or whatever. What's AI and what's just like machine learning and data models now we tend to throw the term AI on top of everything intelligent. Okay, it's AI. So there have been, companies like Relex and I know there's a lot of dynamic pricing companies like Pricezen and similar that already before AI hype did like a lot of data-driven optimization of dynamic pricing and demand forecasting and so on. Maybe the role of AI there might be that for less professional merchants or that kind of smaller operations that do not have the resources or know-how or time to do like very complex data analysis on forecasting, these commerce platforms can embed these forecasting capabilities but deliver the results in a human readable format, kind of via AI chat agent driven relationship, which might be more understandable for a less data driven user.
So providing like recommendation and tips and tricks that you might want to implement.
Exactly. So rather than giving like a huge Excel and whatnot, maybe it can give a more simple that, hey, you should probably double your, this gene model for Black Friday because it seems to be the one that is now hyped. I think it could be simple stuff where, the capabilities are the same, but the way how it's delivered and packaged with an AI agent makes it more accessible for the less resource, the merchants that has less resources to kind of analyze complex stuff.
Do you see that this is also like a journey that starts by AI kind of giving you these recommendations that you end up implementing yourself, and maybe once you start trusting it, or just in some time when you are kind of overall maybe trusting the AI, then all of this stuff can happen in the background automatically?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting aspect, and probably like less visible to the merchant, but it's maybe an interesting geeky topic to discuss. Is like, what does like agent automation look like under the hood? So if we've gotten used to kind of the idea that we do automated workflows where I do like, we have even this like visual drag and drop tools, almost like Zapier or similar, where, all right, if this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do this. Now, the reasoning capabilities of many of the AI providers, the agent providers, are pretty good or even great in some cases. So instead of you having to map out all of these workflows, you could hire a kind of AI agent to do the reasoning. What should they do? Then they just need access to these various configuration endpoints. And that's kind of the role, again, where the commerce platforms would need to make sure that like all of the APIs to actually trigger things like change the price or create a new catalog item or new bundle product for this campaign, that all of those actions are available for those reasoning agents. And that probably means like having MCP layers or model context protocols and so on top of your API, so that the AI agent can kind of make sense of what's available for them to play with. So that's kind of, for the merchant, like at the end of the day, it is more of like you described that, all right, what do you recommend? The reasoning part of the thing. And then they would need to kind of be able to access the data to do the reasoning well. And then it would say that, and I would create a bundle of these two products with this price. And then if it seems like a good idea for you, you kind of actually do it yourself. And then if it constantly delivers good results, then you might say that, hey, well, why do I need to be here in between? Let's just like do your recommendations automatically, like autoplay. But under the hood, there's kind of the difference is that does the agent have access only to the data, or does it also have access to kind of the service layer where they can trigger these things?